Now that everyone's back in the main session, if you could remember to please mute your microphones. Use the chat box if you have any questions. Again, I'm sorry for the technical difficulties that we had. That was kind of our icebreaker. So I'm going to transition into some more of the details of the sale. So I'm going to pull up the presentation and we'll jump back in. All right, so getting started. One resource that I want to mention to you guys is the Cookie Season Planner. This is an online tool that you can use to decide what is the best way for your troop to participate in the sale. It will ask you some simple questions like your troop's grade level, what activities you feel comfortable participating in, virtual or in person, and ask what your girls' interests are. It will generate a customized checklist of items and unique activities for your troop to participate in. Next, on getting started, you'll want to talk to your girls about their goals. The reward card is a great way to motivate them and help them set their goals high. You'll see our mascot, Hope the horse, appear several times throughout the rewards. You'll also notice that some of our higher rewards look the same this year. We've got our fingers and toes crossed that we'll be able to travel and have camp again in 2021. Because we were so disappointed to have to cancel those plans, but we're really hopeful we'll get to participate in those trips and activities next summer. And I will talk a little bit more about our alternative plans a little bit later in this presentation. So another way to get the girls excited about participating in the cookie sale is the cookie rally. We are in the process of planning a council-wide virtual rally that's going to be awesome, but we do encourage you to still hold one at the service unit and troop levels if you'd like. We want girls to be able to participate in as much as they can. Historically, the council has provided some resources for rallies, but this year those resources will be going towards our council-wide virtual event. If you are going to be having rallies in your local areas, I did want to point out some resources that are available to you for virtual, both virtual and in person. Little Brownie Baker has an amazing virtual rally kit that's got videos and activities and lesson learning modules for the girls to participate, and this is all available at littlebrownie.com. So some of the training materials that you'll want to make sure and get familiar with is one, our troop cookie manual. Hopefully you've already received your copy from your service unit consultant, but if you haven't, I'll post this link in the comments or in the chat box for you to be able to access the digital version, and you can see it is already posted to our website. The first thing that you should do is get familiar with this manual. It is a very valuable resource and contains a lot of information about the entire sale. So the answer to your question is likely found in this book. But you know, we're always available, both me, Carrie, and Troop Support is always there to answer any questions that you may have. So if you volunteered with us before, you know that this cookie training is usually really long with a ton of information crammed into one session. But I'm going to try something a little bit new this year. I'm going to be implementing just-in-time trainings that I'm calling Cookie Bites. So I'm going to record and post smaller training videos throughout the sale and when you need to know that, around the time that you need to know that information. So I've created this schedule here of 6 mini webinars. All the videos will be posted on Wednesday mornings, and then I will be available for office hours from 12 to 1 that afternoon. So please write down this schedule in your manual and join me when you can. Tonight's going to be our very first one, and we're going to cover some eBuddy basics. Then on November 11th, I'll talk about how to place your initial order, and we'll also talk about delivery. So I'm hoping that by breaking these categories and these topics up, it will seem a little less overwhelming, and it will also give you specific topics and videos that you can refer back to instead of rewatching a 2-hour webinar. But like I just said, as always, if you can't make the office hours or watch it in real time, you can always send us an email to info or connect with me, Carrie, or your troop support specialist. I'll give just a second if anyone wants to take a picture of that or jot that down. So in case you have further questions or need further clarification on a topic that I'm discussing, you can also watch these supplemental videos on the VIP e-training portal in eBuddy. It gives you modules for every aspect of the sale: programming, marketing, technology, which would be eBuddy, and the cookies. So these are good little videos and supplemental resources if you still have some questions. So I'm going to pause here before I start talking about eBuddy. Are there any questions?
Yes, Jessica.
Yes.
I was in the middle of answering one of them, but you can go ahead and answer. They want to know if the mini trainings would be required. And somebody wanted to know if today's was going to be a 2-hour webinar, which I think was your point of breaking them up.
Right. No. Ideally, we're done early tonight. The additional trainings are not going to be required, but I would highly, highly recommend that you watch them because they're covering relevant topics. And it really is meant for you to absorb that information a little bit better because, you know, in the past, we've typically tried to hit every single thing you can cover in the cookie trainings tonight, and you may not absorb that information, and it's still a couple months away before you even use it. So I'm hoping that doing it this way, we're just going to be a little bit more helpful. And like I said, you can refer back to it when it comes time. Like, we're going to talk about initial order in November, but as you get a little bit closer, you can just rewatch that 20-minute clip instead of the 2 hours.
Jessica, we have a couple more,
okay,
if you don't mind. Are we going to be able to do cookie booths, which I think we're going to be talking about later?
Yes.
But also wanted to know when they will be able to get into eBuddy.
We are uploading this week, so you should be able to access your eBuddy with, our goal is by November 1st. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and resume. We're gonna switch over and
there's
talk
a couple
about
more
eBuddy.
questions. Hold on, Jessica. There's a couple more questions.
Okay.
Will we not be receiving cookie rally materials for an in-person rally this year?
That is correct.
Okay. And then should we have received a paper manual or just digital?
The paper manuals were shipped to your service unit cookie consultant. So they should have those available for you now. But there is a digital version available as well. Okay. So tonight I'm just going to cover some basics of eBuddy, just the first couple tabs once you log in, and what you're going to want to be looking for as we get started. Okay, so I'm using an example from this past season, but a lot of this is going to look very similar for you when you log in. So like I just said, this is the first of our little bite-sized trainings, and we're only going to cover a small section of eBuddy. What we're going to look at, or what you're going to see when you first log in, is your dashboard. On the far left, you should be able to see the troops that you are active in. So if you are active in multiple troops and are missing one, please let us know immediately so we can get you added once you're able to log in. And you can toggle In between all of your troops, and your dashboard will look the same for each troop. So at the top, you can see which season you're in, and you can view previous seasons if you have been a volunteer with us before. Here in the orange box, you'll see the quick links. The cookie portal is that 6-box screen that you sometimes run into when you log into eBuddy that gets you access to most of these other blocks down here. Littlebrownie.com is where you'll find all of those resources that I've mentioned previously, the VIP training. You've got your quick link to Digital Cookie here. And Ideal Cookie Sale is where a lot of our graphics live. You can log on there anytime and get stuff for your Facebook or stuff for to print out and decorate with. There's all kinds of great print material available there, print and digital. And you've got this convenient cookie calculator if you ever need to do some math. So in the main area, you'll see your orders, and if you sold with us last year, you'll see a comparison between the previous season and now. You can hover over it and it will give you different data points. And you can also change the view of what you're looking at. You can look at data by variety, by girl, digital cookie, etc. Over here is the messages block. The service units can send you messages through the eBuddy site. They're not emails, but they'll just live right here, and they can also come from the council level. Down here, you'll have a calendar of important dates, and your booth sales will also show up right here in this calendar area. And below, you've got a troop checklist of reminders of things that will need to happen over the course of the season. Here, your service unit contact information should be there for you should you need assistance with anything throughout the sale. Over here on cupboard locations, it will Google map the closest cupboard to you, which is helpful if you've got someone picking up cookies or you need directions or you've got a new location this year. Also gives you some more data points down here, quick links to other resources down below. So very helpful if you are ever needing some data throughout your sale. The second tab I want to show you is the contacts tab. So you'll want to go in here and make sure that your information is correct, and anyone else who is associated with your Troops eBuddies account, their information is correct as well. If it's not, you'll have access to edit that information right here with that purple button. You can go in, update it to the correct information, and then you'll be able to click Update Preferences. Pretty self-explanatory. Next is the Settings tab. So you, as the troop cookie consultant or troop leader, will have the ability to add additional users. So if you're the troop leader and you have a cookie mom who's going to assist you, you can add them in eBuddy. You can also do additional roles within eBuddy, which I want to show you down here. So my screen's getting cut off. Down below, you'll be able to, oh, because I need to click Edit Settings, that's why. So here's what I was just mentioning is you can add additional troop leaders down here if you've got an extra person helping you or your co-leader, whoever. Your cookie chair here. These are the additional roles that I wanted to talk about that you will have access as the troop leader or troop cookie consultant to add. So if you have a mom who is volunteering to help but only wants to be able to pick up cookies because say she lives near the cupboard or works near the cupboard and it's convenient for her to help out in that way, and that will be the only thing that she's allowed to do, you'll want to enter her as a cookie pickup user. So if you have checked out cookies from the council cupboard in the past, you know that we use the Cupboard Keeper app and that you have to have your eBuddy credentials to log into the system to check out cookies. So this would be a reason why this person needs an eBuddy login, is so that they're also able to check out cookies when they come to the cupboard. I'm going to talk about this in a later time, but eBuddy and the Cupboard Keeper app have had several updates this season to allow for a more contactless pickup procedure. And so we are also, I'm going to note this later, but we're going to be doing an additional cupboard manager training to go over some of these new features. But it's really important that if you are going to opt to use the contactless technology and the Cupboard Keeper app, that you have anyone who's going to pick up cookies in eBuddy as a cupboard or as a cookie pickup user. So the booth recorder only is if you have someone who is going to be helping with a booth sale, a mom, who is going to pick up cookies, and sorry about that. So they have volunteered to help at a booth sale, and they're going to pick up cookies to take to their booth sale. They'll be able to log in and apply the cookies to the girls that were present at the booth sale that they were participating in. And that is the only thing that they'll be able to do within eBuddy. And they're not able to allocate any other cookies other than the ones that were assigned to that booth sale. And down here, we've got the Troop view only user. This is someone who might need access to eBuddy to look at sales or something. Maybe your treasurer might want to be in the Troop view only. They can get into the system, but they cannot make any changes to eBuddy whatsoever. Up here at the top of your settings too, you're able to add your goal if you so choose. And if you do add your goal here, it will reflect on your dashboard with the other data points. So the last tab that I want to point out tonight is your girls tab. So this is going to be one of the first things that you want to do whenever you get in and we get girls loaded around November 1st, is make sure that everyone on your roster is here and reflected in eBuddy. One thing that I want to recommend that you do right away is enter their t-shirt sizes now before we ever get started with selling cookies. And the reason why is if you do it before the girls have cookies applied to them and earn rewards with a size required, the size will automatically populate. If you wait and do it after a girl has already earned a reward that requires a shirt size, you will have to manually enter it on that reward each time that she has a t-shirt. So I highly recommend you just going in and doing this now. The shirt size is required on the parent permission slip, so that information should be available to you. And so that is a great thing to go ahead and get started on. So I'm going to pause there for any eBuddy questions.
I think we're caught up on questions in the chat for eBuddy, Jessica.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, that is it for eBuddy. Let me hop back over to my other presentation. And we can resume. So these are some important dates for our sales season coming up. This is located on page 4 of your manual. So if you have your manual, please open it up to this calendar page and take out a writing utensil. I have one correction for us to make. Under March, on March 25th, go ahead and scratch that out for me and change it to March 21st. We had a small typo there. The last day of the sale is Sunday, March 21st. I also want to point out some supplemental dates over here that you might want to add to your calendar. As I mentioned before, there are several enhancements to the Cupboard Keeper app and eBuddy for contactless procedures. So we're going to offer a cupboard manager training to anyone who is interested in learning about that technology. Girl Uploads will start as early as November 1st, and we are trying to do those imports daily this year. So our registered girls system, Salesforce, does not directly communicate with eBuddy, so we have to do the importing ourselves. But I'm working diligently with Marcy to make sure that that's something that we can do at least every other day, so you're not waiting for us to update your roster. And then I am going to do a different webinar series on Digital Cookie, but you can expect Digital Cookie to launch on December 11th. Okay, so now I want to talk about some more council-specific type information. So I'm going to stop sharing so I can look at everyone while we're discussing these things, because I know that these are hot topics and I'm sure people have
Jessica?
questions. Yes.
I have a question about when you say digital cookie launch, do you mean that's when we're flipping the switch, or is and their true roster should be correct, or is that when they're going to start getting the emails?
They'll get the emails a few days before. Green button push is December 11th.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So I know that cookie booths is a pressing question. So I do want to take a few minutes to discuss what that's going to look like this year and hopefully give you guys some peace of mind. So our plan as a council right now is to proceed with cookie booths as if this were a normal year. Council is going to move forward with securing the national chain booths like Walmart's and our grocery store retailers, and we are encouraging you to go ahead and reach out to your community partners and business partners and start securing booths. We know that this is a really important aspect of our sale, but I also want to remind you that booth sales have always been optional and they will continue to be. So they're not a requirement. No one has to go out and do a booth sale. It's totally at your own comfort level. But we don't want to hinder that opportunity at this time either. Obviously, we'll adjust our plans if need be, if there's a resurgence or our numbers skyrocket and we need to make adjustments, we'll do that at this time. But right now, we are hopeful and we're planning for as normal as a sales season as possible. I don't have the calendar ready quite yet that I send out for you guys to get the signatures from your local booths, but that will be available shortly. And there was one more thing about booths I wanted to cover. Hopefully this is good news to everyone. Does anyone have any questions about booths? Or I do need to mention that we will have some safety procedures for those who do participate in in-person booth sales. There will be some updated language and guidance on the booth sale agreement, because we are representing Girl Scouts when we're working at cookie booths, and we also have safety as our main priority. So likely masks will be required. We'll want hand sanitizer at your station. Trying to conduct business as contactless as possible, those type of things. So more guidance will be released on that as we get a little bit closer to time. But I did want to assure you that at this point in time, we are planning to have cookie booths, and we definitely hope that we'll be able to do them throughout our whole season. Does anyone have any questions on that? Questions, comments, concerns?
Susan has asked the question, will we be doing door-to-door sales this year?
So that is still an aspect of the sale, but we are asking that you do it in the safest possible manner. So if you continue to do porch drop-offs, those kinds of things, that's what we're going to recommend at this time. But like I said, we're going to release some further safety guidance when it comes to booths and door-to-door sales as we get a little bit closer to time. Okay. Another thing that I wanted to touch on was the alternatives to higher rewards if for some reason we're unable to travel again in summer of 2021. So the plan now is to plan on traveling to both Epic Waters and Universal Studios in summer of 2021. You may have noticed that there were not actual dates printed on the reward card, but our plan now is to be able to travel in the summer. We're going to monitor this, and as we get to January, February, if there are travel restrictions of some sort or rising numbers, if it's unsafe for us to travel, we will look at postponing the events to December 2021. If, God forbid, we are still not able to travel in December of 2021, we will resort to Plan C, which would be to do the higher reward packets that we did this season for the girls that qualified for Epic Waters and Orlando. So I'm hoping, I've got all fingers and toes crossed that we're going to be able to travel and have a great time. But I did want to let you guys know that we do have alternatives in place, and share our plans with you guys. So any questions, comments, concerns on traveling or travel rewards?
No, but we have a question if there is a time for the cookie cupboard training.
No, it is not scheduled. We just have that date reserved. There will be a time included on the meeting invite link. Probably at 6 p.m. if I had to guess. Okay, well, I wanted to also do a quick reminder about the cookie crossover patch that we're doing this year. Our fall product is wrapping up on Monday. So for your girls to be able to earn the cookie crossover patch, they need to send 15 emails from the fall product sale and sell 300 boxes of cookies. And I just wanted to let you guys know that the same 15 emails that they need to earn their personalized patch this year, it's the same emails. So really encourage them to get up to that 15 email count before Monday. And those patches are so cute. I don't know if anyone on here has gotten your troop leader one, but I love them. Hopefully your girls are having fun with their avatars and having fun participating in the fall product sale. Something new this year too that we added to the reward card are the digital cookie rewards. So we've got a reward for digital cookie emails. If they send 30 emails through digital cookie, they will earn a power bank, like a phone charger bank. And if they sell 300 boxes of digital cookies, they will earn the selfie phone light. So we've got kind of a cute tech theme there going on with our virtual sales. So those are some new things. Oh, but on the topic of technology and virtual, I do just want to send out or tell you the yearly reminder that the girls are able to post their digital cookie links on Facebook on their personal pages. We are allowing them, GSUSA kind of lessened their rules a little bit for the 2020 season. And so girls are allowed to share them on social media. However, they are never allowed to be shared on like sale sites like Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, eBay, garage sale type sites. I know that's always tricky and it comes up every year, but just to be clear, they are not to be posted on websites meant for selling. Any questions on any of the information that I just shared?
No, but are you prepared to answer the question, or do they need to create plexiglass border,
Like
things for
shields and
cookie
stuff?
booths? Yeah.
Yeah. So at this time, I'm not prepared to go into those types of details as we're still just fine tuning some of those processes and what we're requiring. But I can say that masks will be required. That's a good question about your community pages, Stephanie. I get that question a lot. So like Nextdoor app and community pages can be a little bit tricky. As long as it's not in the category of selling, if it's not like advertised as a garage sale, if it's just a generic post, that is okay on like Nextdoor or your community pages. Does that answer your question?
Will they be allowed to include their links? Because we have like a big Lawton page and we come across this problem every year. I mean, in the past we've been told we couldn't, but are they allowed to post their links to like the Lawton community page?
So what I have learned from other councils is sometimes, and I think it's a good idea, is if there's a general post of Girl Scout cookies are available, and then is there a way to like reach out to you so that you could provide that customer the girls link? I think that's a fair way to do it.
For our service unit, we've always said that each troop could post about where they're having a booth sale, but we didn't let the individual girls post the link, post their individual link. And that way we were giving booth sale locations on community pages, but not having 10 different girls post their own individual links.
That's a
So,
great idea too.
I don't know.
Okay. Are you guys glad to hear that we're going to do booth sales this year? Hopefully, yes. Okay, good. I've been waiting to share that information, so I was really hoping that everyone would be just kind of breathe a sigh of relief that we're just going to proceed as normally as we can. Okay, well, I have the troop consultant agreement and the parent permission slips ready to go, so I'm going to post those in the comments. Do we know if Shannon has hopped on? I was expecting her to.
I haven't seen her yet.
Okay. She was going to join us for a couple words. So give me just a minute, guys, to post these links in the chat box for you. Does anyone have any questions, comments, concerns? Well, hopefully that means we did an okay job of covering everything tonight. Again, I apologize for the tech issue. I'm going to work on getting this recording downloaded and posted right after we end this meeting tonight, so that way we can share it with everyone as soon as possible. So here is the troop consultant, and yes, I can email the links out to you.
Jessica, we answered Tracy's right before that. I don't know that
Tracy, I
answer.
did not fix it. I'm sorry. I did not have a chance to do that today. And then here is the parent permission slip. And I'll also post the link to the digital manual.
Jessica, we had a question about the permission slip only being online, and I suggested that if they really needed a paper form, that they send an email to info@gswestok.org.
Yeah, that's a great idea. We can get you a paper one if you need to. That's no problem. And I realize that there are areas that the online permission slip just doesn't work well for your area. So no worries there. So I did get a text from Shannon that she was gonna hop on here. If you guys wouldn't mind just waiting just a couple seconds to let her in. I know she wanted to say a few words to everyone who joined us this evening. Is anyone planning on doing just a troop in-person rally? I'm kind of curious if anyone started to think about that. Or more of a service unit. Or how about you take this time to fill out your consultant agreement?
951 is. Denise Sessions is. Troop 22. I don't know which troop you're talking about, Delee, because you have two.
Amber, the
Good.
booth sale form and the credit card form are not quite available yet. We needed to make some updates to the booth sale form, so I will get those sent out as soon as they're ready. Cool. I'm excited to see what these in-person and virtual hybrid rallies look like.
Jessica, I'm gonna hop off because we are maxed out. So I'm thinking Shannon can't get on because we are at a full 100. So
Okay.
I'm gonna hop off for somebody to let her in.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Why am I showing 90? Here she is. It's not maxed out. I'm letting her in.
Jessica,
Hi, Shannon.
can I answer?
Yes, Kay Jean.
Can I answer one of those questions real quick? The Checks Inc. form, that was part of the form question 2. If signers have not changed since last year, your form you've already filled out should be fine. Who
Okay.
needs an additional Checks Inc. form is someone who either has a new bank account or their signers have changed since they filled one out, and they can just reach out to info@gswestok.org to get a new one.
Great. Thank you. For these bite-sized trainings, you will not have to register. Those will all be posted on the website. They're going to be pre-recorded. Okay. Well, I know Shannon is on here and is going to say a few things. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope that you got some valuable information from tonight's call. I sincerely apologize for some of the tech issues that we had at the beginning of this call, but I will get this sent out as soon as I can after we finish tonight. I really couldn't do this without you, and I thank you all, those of you who are returning this year. I know that we had a crazy year, and it was definitely a crazy ride for my first time, but thank you for sticking with it and coming back. Our girls depend on you, and we couldn't do it without you. So with that, I'll just see if Shannon wants to say a few words. You are muted. There you go.
Yeah, months after the pandemic started and figuring out Zoom, you think I'd have it figured out by now, but I still can't figure out how to unmute myself on things. So sorry about that. But I just wanted to chime in here at the end. As Jessica mentioned, we are so thankful to everything that you guys are doing day in and day out to make the sale a success for our girls. This really is the first opportunity for them to learn about their entrepreneurial spirit and learn those 5 skills and really be inspired to take on leadership skills from the youngest girls who are just learning about money management and how to make change to girls who are, making pretty complex, complicated transactions by selling cases and cases all at one time to vendors and businesses so they can support their customers. So our girls really get creative and do an incredible job selling, but they couldn't do that without your support. And as troop leaders and volunteers supporting those girls, you already have a lot on your plate to make things happen for them. But the cookie sale is an incredibly important component of the Girl Scout program, because without it, we couldn't fund all of the fun activities that girls do. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for all of the things that you're doing day in and day out to make this sale a success. I know this year is going to be probably a challenging one, and that we're going to have to rethink how we do some things. So I appreciate your patience in advance for some things that we have thought of that we might need to change, and other things that might come our way mid-sale that we might need to adjust. We have got some incredible team members working on a great marketing plan to make sure that our community knows the sale is happening. So your girls will be visible when they get out there and sell. We're also doing a lot to promote Digital Cookie to make sure that your girls stay safe. And that is really the priority this year. So please make sure that you're reinforcing with girls what they can do to stay safe, and encourage their families to, make sure that they're wearing their masks and social distancing and doing everything that they can to make sure that we don't have to halt the sale early. Fingers crossed, everything will go well across the country with cookies, and everything will kind of go off without a hitch, but we've got contingency plans after contingency plans for everything from rewards to marketing too. So we're here to support you. And if there's anything that you see during the sale that you would like us to address, please don't hesitate to reach out to staff or send an email to info@GSWestOK so we can help you quickly and efficiently. But thank you guys so much for doing the heavy lift on this and for making this a possibility for our girls to participate in. I don't want to kind of go on and on and on. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have since I'm on the call, but I also know if you guys want to, if Jessica, if you want to wrap it up, happy to do that too. But thank you so much. Appreciate everything that you guys are doing.
Thank you, Shannon. Yeah, thank you again